Happy Spiritual Sunday to you all. So, okay. Let's start with something from Karen, as we usually do before we do our affirmation, which will be pertinent. Of course, we know there's no such thing as an accident, no coincidence, no randomness. So in thinking about the message today, I opened up Karen's book, Simple Light, and this is what shows up. Unlike King David, usually when someone hurts us, we think first with our ego, why is this person hurting me? We cut ourselves off from the individual because he or she has invaded our space and injured our ego. But the people who irritate us most, are just mirroring our own negative traits. What we see in them exists in us as well. It's just concealed. But what if we could learn to ask ourselves instead, why is this person in my movie? If he or she is doing something that is an affront to me, what lesson am I to learn here? More often than not, life's most important lessons appear within the framework of the small details and conversations of our lives. Imagine how much more we can receive and how much more we can learn from these little insignificant actions that we take for granted. So basically, Karen's saying what the Kabbalists have told us for thousands of years, and it's not an easy thing to do, yet at the same time, it's one of the most powerful for our spiritual growth, elevation, advancement. To see everything and everyone, everyone, as a mirror of ourselves. The key in Kabbalah is, you think mirror, so if I look in the mirror, I'm used to seeing my face, my hair, my whatever. When you look in the mirror of the world around you, you have to do the spiritual work first to figure out what's really disturbing you about that person or about that thing, and then look for that inside you. Simple example, if you look at somebody and say, oh, such a ego maniac or such a control maniac, then look, where is your ego getting in your way? Where is your ego or your issues of control getting in your way? And you think, well, the other person trying to control and manipulate what they want for their benefit, and it's very obvious. But ask yourself, if you're a business person, if you're a parent, you're a child, you have friends, in what way, shape, or form are you trying to control them, their actions, in what you think is for their best? Especially with parents. You think, oh, I know what's good for my child, and now I'm going to make them do whatever that thing is. That is also control. So when we look at the person out there and say, oh, such a control freak, that may be what the reflection is about. It's not going to look identical to the other person's behavior, but it's going to be the essence of control, or ego, or jealousy, or arrogance, whatever it may be. So take that as a lesson, and we're going to get to what I pray will be a powerful and, most importantly, impactful to your heart, your soul, and your mind. Today's lesson, because it has at its root the only way that we can remove pain, suffering, and death from the world before the deadline shows up and before or without what it could take to make that happen. So let's go start working on ourselves. Let's push ourselves today to, even as we're going to do our affirmation, push yourself. Hold the consciousness right now. It's the first words. Consciousness is everything. Let's right now, even before we do the affirmation together, strengthen your consciousness. Open your heart to really allow deeper inside you that it will be more of your actions, more of your consciousness. It will be more of how you live your life day by day, minute to minute, from this moment forward, making your life and the world a much better place as we do so. So we say it together. Consciousness is everything. I raise my consciousness today to see the miracles and wonders of life. I commit myself to behave with greater love, compassion, and kindness towards all human beings. Okay. The war to end all wars. We go back in history, starting with Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve had war with what they call the snake in the Bible, the Nachash, which we understand wasn't a physical snake. It was the opponent, the adversary that we'll get to. But you follow the Bible. Adam and Eve fought with the snake. Cain and Abel fought with each other. Cain killed Abel. The Tower of Babel. People thought that they could be better than God. They fought with each other. They fought to have control over the world. They fought to, metaphorically, reach the heavens and, if you will, overthrow God. And then, of course, throughout the Bible, the various writings, there's always war. King David went to war. Entering into the promised land, there was war. If we look in human history, when was there not war? War has been there from the beginning. And as the title today, The War to End All Wars, I've often gone back in the classes. World War I, in the early 20th century, was known as the War to End All Wars. Yet it did not. Sadly, to this day, there have been war after war after war after war. Yes, sometimes it may change the scenery, it may change the location, it may change the battlefield. Business, politics, religion, social, culture, economics, but in essence, World War I was not the last war. And so what I want us to understand today is what war is and really what the only war truly is. So if we think about war, what is war? Whether in a larger scale or a smaller scale. Sometimes you could even say, sometimes a neighbor is at war with another neighbor. So yes, it may not be, although unfortunately sometimes it is physical violence, but a war over a tree that grows over a fence, a war over an animal that seems to be out of control or making noise or things like that. But when we stop and look at it, there's so many different ways wars show up. But what's the essence of war? It's two sides looking for the same thing, just from different perspectives. A thief and the person who made the money or has the money that they're trying to steal. They both, in the end, in this simple example, they're both looking for money. We'll get to the deeper level here in a minute. But even on that simple level, the thief is looking for money. The person who goes to work every day or invests their money or whatever you want to say to make money, they're also seeking money. But they're seeking in different ways and in such a way that becomes a war or discord or divisiveness between them. When is war going to end? Well, like we've said, from the beginning of time, Adam and Eve, till this very day, war, unfortunately, has been consistent. Sure, there's a little respite in between wars, generally, although that's starting to disappear also. And unfortunately, over thousands of years, that's made people feel, well, okay, that was the end to that. And then when it starts up again, we're looking for someone to blame. And then when that goes away, oh, thank goodness. And then it starts up again somewhere else, somehow else, etc., looking for someone to blame. Like we read from Karen in the beginning, we have to see the world as a mirror. What is it that's going out there? Even in that simple term, how are we at war with ourselves? Tell me you've never looked in the mirror and been at war with yourself. How could you do such a stupid thing? How did you let them get away with it? How did you make that happen? How did you make this stupid mistake? Whatever it may be, we're in essence at war with ourselves. So let's come to understand really when the war is going to end is the whole point of the center. All the Kabbalists throughout time, up until the 20th century when Rav Ashlag formally created the Kabbalah Center, there's always been the desire for the end of pain, suffering, and death. But Rav Ashlag brought into our modern times the ways and means that we can understand the true battle, the true enemy, and the technology. The technology we call the technology of the soul that is Kabbalah, that the center can bring it to every human being on earth. Because our mission is the end of pain, suffering, and death. Okay, every week we have our affirmation. The first 3 words, consciousness is everything. And as I've asked of you, and this day particularly, and from this point forward, really opening your heart and your mind. What does it mean, consciousness is everything? Essentially, it means that's all there is. If consciousness is everything, and that's not hyperbole, but it is literal, there is only consciousness. Our actions follow consciousness. Whether a person realizes it or not, which we would call unconscious, but it's still about consciousness, or it may be a conscious action, is still about consciousness. That's all there is, consciousness. And the Rav emphasized many times, especially related to war. Here in America, let's say, you have the Pentagon. So the military leaders, the generals, they get together in the Pentagon and they plot and plan the war against whatever they think or whoever they think is the enemy. They figure out all the strategy, everything else, and then on the ground, out in the battlefield, the soldiers play out, if you will, that plan, that strategy that was planned in the war room of the Pentagon. Rav even said once, no general or leader of an army is stupid enough just to run out on the battlefield and try and beat the enemy without a plan, without having already formulated at least some strategy to defeat the enemy. And therefore, taking that into our lives. Consciousness is everything. That everything is first planned here, and then it takes physical action, physical manifestation. We understand the war, and the only war is here in our head. You and I have learned since Kabbalah 1, hopefully you've all taken it at least once or twice or a dozen times, depends on how long you've been connected to the center, that in our head there are two streams of consciousness that flow 24/7. Our brain is only a receiver of those two streams of consciousness. Our work as spiritual beings in this physical world is to make the choice between those two streams of consciousness, the voice of our soul, the stream of the light of the Creator, of all the blessings, through all the God-like, light-like actions, love, kindness, compassion, care, generosity, humility, forgiveness, apology, gratitude, etc. Or there's the voice, we call it now the original artificial intelligence, Satan, adversary, opponent, evil inclination, angel of death, that negative, false voice of ego and self-centeredness and selfishness. That's it. That's the war. That's the battle. In fact, that's why those of you who are familiar with the term, the War of Armageddon, which is really, truly the war that will end all wars, is in Kabbalistic terms, Milchemet Gog uMagog, in the Aramaic, means the war of mind, the war of thoughts. That's the last war, and that's the ultimate war, and technically it's been the only war. Here, not out there. So then, why do we fight with other people? Because in this world, the world of the physicality and the five senses, that opponent is making use of the five senses, the things going on outside of us, to taunt and tempt us to behave in, as we call it, a reactive behavior, a desire to see for oneself behavior, a taking behavior. Anger, fear, insecurity, greed, selfishness, jealousy, judgment, whatever it may be. We fight with other people because that programming, which we programmed, will taunt us and therefore give us free will. Do you want to act like the light, or do you want to just try and get? Do you want to be sharing like the soul wants us to be and have all the blessings, or do you want to get? The choice being fundamentally instant gratification and then greater challenges, discord, difficulties, obstacles, and a lack of good? Or do you want to make the choice, listen to the voice of your soul that tells us this is your opportunity to remove the darkness, the blockages, as I called it probably here on Spiritual Sunday, to open the jail cell that we have trapped parts of our soul in. The Creator, we learn from the beginning of Kabbalah 1, the Creator filled every one of us with infinite light, with a sense and the power of infinite lasting, total fulfillment and contentment. So when we came into this world, that's what we've been seeking. Every human being on earth is seeking lasting, eternal fulfillment because the Creator already gave it to us. The reason we came into this world was to take, if you will, the potential that the Creator put in us, the infinite light of the Creator. Our job is to make it manifest in this world by letting it out. The same way, similarly, when people are born with, as we often had called them, God-given talents. So the talent is already inside. But in order for people to enjoy it and benefit from it, it has to be expressed outward. Whether it's talent in science, math, athletics, any other type of work in the spiritual world, in any other aspect of our life, is to let it out, make it manifest. So we left the endless world simply to let it out. All of the light, 24/7, and therefore have eternal bliss. That's it. But the aspect of free will necessitated that there has to be the challenger in our head, which we programmed, that in the moment you want to grow to your next level, the moment you want to unblock and unlock the door and let more of your soul's light out into the world, there has to be presented to us the cell door, if you will, or the curtain that's been hiding our light, that part of our soul's light that contains the next blessing that we're supposed to have. And therefore, from Rav Ashlag to Rav Brandwein to the Rav and Karen, the Rav and Karen took that lineage, that connection to this ultimate wisdom of universal truth, the technology of the soul, and they created classes by means of which every person on earth could understand this wisdom and this technology. So from Kabbalah 1 forward, we learn every challenge, which in essence is a form of darkness, right? Because we're not happy, joyous, content in that moment. Something triggers us to be less than content, less than fulfilled. Every challenge is our opportunity, but we have to take advantage of it to shine light into the darkness and increase the amount of light's blessings, health, peace, love, protection, prosperity, all the good things. Let more of it be revealed in a way that stays with us forever. That's why we have to ask ourselves, as we read again from Karen, why is it in my movie? So when triggered, we learn pause. And when you ask that question, why is it in my movie? For me, the most powerful way to answer that is whatever you feel in the moment. So once you feel reactive, that energy waking up, pause, ask what is the emotion? Is it fear, anger, judgment, jealousy, guilt, shame? Whatever it is, you have identified your darkness. We don't excuse the other person. Nobody says they didn't say or do what they did. But from your point of view, from our point of view, it's an opportunity for us to identify where we've covered up our light, how we've covered it up, with what energy we've covered it up, and therefore be able to uncover the light, let it shine out into our life, and therefore it shines brighter light of peace, love, prosperity, health, good relationships, protection, solutions, clarity. But you've got to fight the war here. Because the moment you're triggered, that same old negative voice comes up. Well, scream, yell, fight, bite, because you always got gratification. We know it's instant and temporary, but you always felt good at first when you did that. So keep doing it. Keep doing it. Every spirituality teaches cause and effect. The Kabbalists emphasize that cause and effect transcends time. It is connected to the journey of the soul. And therefore, what you and I did 2, 3, 5, 10, 20 lifetimes ago, hundreds or thousands of years ago, that has yet to be corrected, the blockage yet to be removed, will and does show up in this lifetime. And that's why sometimes when things happen, like we often have said, the world has said, why do bad things happen to good people? Meaning we look at the person in this lifetime and we see that they're good and they're kind and they're nice. Yes, like all people, they have more potential. Even if they're at 70% of their potential, there's 30% more because the Creator filled us with 100%. But those kinds of questions, why did that bad thing happen to that good person, may come from a past life. So you and I can fall into confusion and therefore greater chaos by not understanding that cause and effect is exact and immutable, even beyond time. So the Kabbalah Center, we're teaching how just to take advantage of every opportunity comes our way. So it doesn't matter good people having big challenges. It just is an opportunity to pay back a debt, to fix a mistake, a reactive behavior from earlier in this life and or from other past lives. But there's no such thing as randomness, accident, or a glitch in the universal system. It's perfect. And without giving you too many details, I've had revelation of that very fact, how cause and effect is exact over thousands of years. And it's so intricate, the way it works. And you see it and you experience it as you need, as you're ready for it. So like anything else, simple analogy, they don't give you in first grade, fifth grade work. You learn math in first grade level. As you master that, then you get math in second grade level and third grade level. So yes, by fourth, fifth, sixth grade, it may be algebra, trigonometry you get in high school, etc. It's still math, but it's in the level that the person is capable. So too with our spiritual work. Even though we've programmed that AI called Satan, the challenger, the opponent, it cannot bring us anything beyond our capability. It can only give us, if you will, a test but not the creator of the universe testing us, meaning it gives us a choice. Are you ready to express more of your godlike light nature, or do you want to stay at the same level and benefit with instant gratification and short-term fulfillment? But that just means that you have to go through the same thing again and again. Even like we talked about in the beginning, wars have gone on for thousands of years. Yes, it changes scenery, it changes location, it changes externally, but it's still the same war, trying to get from other people something that we want, whether it's get out of our face, give us something we think you owe us, individually or collectively. It's some battle on an external level. We're coming to understand we are only here to express the light within us and shine it out. That's it. And for that effort, we get eternal bliss. So, yes, only light will take away darkness. Only love can overcome hate. Only gratitude and appreciation can overcome jealousy. Only humility can overcome ego. Only apology can overcome guilt. Only forgiveness can overcome resentment. Light, physically and spiritually, is the only solution to remove darkness and bring light illumination. Yes, when things happen, nobody learns in the Kabbalah Center, oh, when somebody says something nasty or does something not nice, yes, you're going to pause, send them light, identify your blockage, send light, like we said, light of gratitude and appreciation instead of or in place of jealousy, and on like that. Nobody says you don't respond. Nobody says that that's all you do. The most powerful thing we can do is send the light of God out of our heart and soul to everybody else. As we do that, because we said we have two channels in our head, as we let the light pour out into that challenging situation, then we can hear from the broadcast of our soul what the right words, actions, behavior is to bring the manifestation in another level of that light. Yes, you can say things, you can do things, but at that point, those actions, those words will be filled with the light of the Creator. Love, unconditional love, kindness, compassion, therefore will reach the heart and soul of that person. But the same words, filled with the hurt and the anger and the revenge and the judgment and the jealousy, even though it will be, quote, the correct words, but it won't reach the heart because like attracts like. So even kind words said with anger and jealousy will only reach the shells, the curtains, the blockages of the other person. Because there's no light, it cannot get to their soul. One of, for me, the most important, powerful things that I learned in the center when I first started, and this was even after 10 years of being involved in New Thought spirituality, they called it, reading the teachings of the Far East, different spiritual philosophies. I never had really come across in its greatest detailed explanation that there is only one soul and technically only one being on earth. You and I learn in the center, the Bible is a code. But even in the coded level, we learn that when we came out of the endless world, there was only one being in this world that was then split into Adam and Eve, and has then, since then, been split into 8.5 billion bodies. But you can't split the soul. If the light is infinite, there cannot be a division, even though we are a physical body, but the soul is not limited by the body. And therefore, there is only one soul of the light of the Creator that just, let's say, shows up in the physical five sense world as 8.5 billion bodies, people. But there's only one soul. And therefore, just as with every cell of our body, every cell affects every other cell. Every part of our body affects all of our body. So too does every human being on earth affect every other human being on earth since the beginning of time. And therefore we're learning how to empower the God-like perfection, the God-given perfection in every human being. Now, just to put it in this way, yes, we have to pause and we have to send light to everybody, no matter what. Unconditional love, which is light shining 24/7, the Rav and Karen often told us, we don't right now have to like everybody, but we must send light and act with human dignity. So as I grew up, it was, yeah, you can disagree with people, but you don't have to be disagreeable. You can have a different opinion than other people. You can hold your opinion and act upon your opinion, but not in a divisive, frictional way with other people. Rav Ashlag, the founder of the center, the greatest Kabbalist, at least in the last 500 years, brought this wisdom in such a powerful way into this world that he even writes like this: understanding we are one being. In the beginning of the book that we've translated into English called On World Peace. So those of you who would like to read it, you can read it yourself. But I will just paraphrase. The beginning of that book, he writes, everything, everyone has the right to exist. And then he goes on and basically says, even the most evil and damage-causing person has a right to exist. Don't jump. Our job is not to just get rid of it, but it's to bring it through the process that all of us are going through, have gone through, and will go through until we complete the mission for which we came: peace on earth, harmony among all people, all of that one soul. He says our job is to bring the sweetening process. Like he uses a piece of fruit. In the beginning of its growth on a tree, an apple or an orange will be bitter if it's picked off the tree before it's ripened. The farmer's job is to let it go through the sweetening process of becoming ripe to its potential. The same with people. Now, for those of you who are newer, that doesn't mean that we let people just go out and behave in destructive, violent, negative ways. The concept is that you and I, who have spiritual awakening, who can guide the world in quantum, eternal growth and progress, we need to send light and help everybody awaken their soul, which will guide them into their personal sweetening process. Yes, again, it does not mean, not stopping violent people from harming other people or thieves from stealing. But as we said earlier, to stop, let's say, a thief from stealing out of anger, hatred, revenge, etc., will not take away the energy of thievery. It may stop that thief, but the negative energy called thievery will still be in the cosmos, and it'll just transfer, so to speak, to the next person who may be thinking about how to get from others without earning it, making the effort in a proactive way. And therefore, that opponent energy that is also on the spiritual soul internet will just give the next person the idea, oh, go steal from that person, cheat a little bit in business, go rob a bank, whatever it may be. The same idea of thievery. What you and I are learning is how to take the negative energy called thievery, hatred, violence, anger, etc., out of the cosmos, out of the influence on humanity, by transforming it to light, taking away the cover of that negative energy. As Rav Asag says, every cell of our body has the same DNA as all the cells of our body. We need them all. And then he writes like this: how can a single individual have influence on the entire world? And it should not surprise you that an individual can, through his own actions, cause any rise or decline to the whole world. It is immutable law that the collective and the individual are equal to each other like 2 drops of water. And everything that applies to the collective also applies to the individual. And that being said, it's actually the individuals who make the collective do what it does. Every one of us are constantly impacting everybody else. What you and I are learning here from the Kabbalah Center, this lineage of the Rav and Karen, Rav Brandwein, Rav Ashlag, back to the Zohar, Rabbi Shimon, all the way back to Adam and Eve, is how light, the light of God, is the only thing that will take away the darkness and all the negative thought energy of the anger, the jealousy, the judgment, the guilt, the shame, and all of that. Light is the only way to stop the war, reminding ourselves that the war is here, between the voice of the opponent and the voice of our soul. There is no war on the outside. We are guaranteed to win this war because the Creator created perfect beings of light, and we are here to reveal that perfect light beingness that we are. And the infinite light force of God that flows 24/7 is pushing every human being towards that goal that we committed ourselves to achieve in coming into this world anyway. We only have the free will to resist, but we can't stop it. The Rav and Karen used to call it hugging one's chaos. Sure, a person can hold on to their anger and their resentment and their jealousy and their hatred, not forever. And it's coming to its deadline. That's why it's getting more powerfully negative and positive at the same time. The gray area, if you will, is moving out, either into the light or the darkness. So we can't stop the light. We have the power to resist short term, but that's painfully. Or we can go voluntarily, make the uncomfortable sharing effort. Forgiveness when we feel resentful, humble when we feel egotistical, appreciative when we feel jealous, etc. We make that effort, we can create greater unity. So the war to end all wars is not outside of us. It's not about other people. Never has been. Adam and Eve were not at war with each other. They were at war with the enemy called the Nachash, the snake. We call it the angel of death, evil inclination, the opponent. There is no person that is our enemy. Yes, we all may behave in not always light-like behaviors, but we are one soul. We are parts of each other. And just like in the body, when a person has an ache or a pain, the first thing we try to do, all of us, is heal it, bring it back into its original perfection. On a quantum level, there is no such thing, truly, of removing a piece of that one soul and still being complete. So we send light and then let the light guide us to the right actions that will stop negative behavior and will bring peace, love, and unity. It is guaranteed. The war to end all wars inside of us, not outside of us. It's the war of the soul and the opponent in our heads. As consciousness is everything, as we keep the consciousness that all humanity has only that one enemy, the internal adversary, then the more that we unite in the war against this true enemy, the faster we weaken its power, the less influence it has on you, me, and everybody on earth. And when more people act with greater love and kindness and compassion towards all people, that's when heaven on earth will show up, as the prophets say, in the blink of an eye. God bless. Please let other people have this. Share it with you now. Make sure when we finish today, just go online. If you're watching on Facebook, just share this with other people. Those who are ready will hear. Those who are not ready, even if they listen to it, they won't get it. So, as we said today, it's good for everyone, even if just energetically, like we're about to do our meditation on one of the 72 names, so we can spread light to the heart and soul of every person. Just click share, send it out there. Either later today or tomorrow, it'll be on Instagram, it'll be on the Spiritual Sunday YouTube page, so those of your friends who are not on Facebook, they can also take advantage of it. But if everybody, if another million people tomorrow heard this message and it reached their heart and soul, as the prophet says, in the blink of an eye, the chaos could stop. Heaven on earth could show up. So just put it out there. If you're watching, it's because it's touching your heart and soul. It's affecting you, changing the way you look at the world, the way you operate. Pay it forward. Let another 2, 3, 10, 20, 50, 100 people have access to this. 6 degrees of separation will touch all 8.5 billion people on the planet. Okay, so let's do our meditation. And I do want to thank all of you. I know I've mentioned it and I continue to mention it until peace comes to this world. Make sure you have one of these. Buy some, give them to your friends, family, give it out. You see, if you walk around your life as a spiritual person, as one who's seeking the end of pain, suffering, and death, keep a few of these in your pocket, your purse, to give away. You'll be surprised how if it's in your mind, you'll be shopping, and suddenly you'll have that message from your soul. That person there might be interested, and just offer them. And with the Kabbalah Center, I'd like to give you a gift of peace and blessings, or health and prosperity, however you'll mention it to them. And just offer it to them. Yes, yes, no, no. But it's another revelation of light for you, whether they say yes or no. Your light doesn't depend on whether they accept it. Your light depends on when you make the effort to offer it to them. For those of you who already have that, and may not yet have something like this, the Sacred Zohar, which is convenient, but it's all the Aramaic of all the 23 volumes of the Hebrew Aramaic Zohar. So it shines the energy of the entire Zohar. You can scan all the various sections for health, peace, love, spiritual cleansing, prosperity, conflicts in relationships. Hopefully you've seen the scanning chart, but make sure. And just go online. I put the link there. Just be a supporter of the work. Whatever amount you can. $2, $5, $10, $18 a month, but a recurring donation. You maintain a constant flow of light from all 8.5 billion people on the planet, because the center reaches out to all 8.5 billion people, and now you're empowering and connecting to that network. It's a blessing for you, and it helps us speed up the process. So just go on and make that donation, recurring donation. So this is our name for today, one of the 72 names of God, Daled Mem Bet. Daled Mem Bet. Human dignity for all. Human dignity for all. As I mentioned, the Rav and Karen always said, yes, we may not like everybody. We don't have to like everybody. We do have to connect to their soul because it's one soul, and we always have to act with human dignity. So this will support us on our next level up, and it'll reach out through our meditation to every person on earth. Daled Mem Bet. And if you are brand new to this, even though these look like Hebrew letters, but they're actually photons of the light of God, conduits, if you will, wiring, so to speak, or I guess you could say like spiritual optic fiber that bring the light of the endless world into this world. Daled Mem Bet. So the shapes are actually ways that the infinite light of the Creator takes on certain unique frequencies. And as we said, this combination of these three energies awaken human dignity for all. Daled Mem Bet. So I ask you to sit comfortably in your seat, feet flat on the floor, hands in your lap. Taking a few deep breaths, breathing in the light of the Creator through the physical breath and air. Hold the breath for a moment, and exhaling through your mouth, letting go of all tension, stress, blockages. Breathing in through the nose, hold the breath for a moment, exhale through the mouth. Let the circulation of this infinite light of the Creator be as a flow of cleansing energy. Breathing in the fresh, pure light. Let it flow through you head to toe, and as you exhale through the mouth, let it be expelling whatever blockages, spiritual darkness and dirt, allowing you to be a more powerful and pure conduit of this light. Feel yourself relaxing into the light of the Creator, feeling yourself enveloped in unconditional love, which is the power of the light. Begin focusing your consciousness on the one soul internet that we're all connected to. And as the light is awakening in you more and more, just through this breath, allow your heart to open up to the heart and the soul, which is the light of God in every human being. Focusing on that, let's desire more powerfully than we ever have up to this moment to bring this light to awaken the heart and soul of every human being on earth. Daled Mem Bet. Breathing your normal matter, normal pace. Let's envision together Daled Mem Bet. See these 3 nanoparticles of the light of God just above your head, vibrating with the power of human dignity, oneness, unity. See it emanating, this pure white light. That can remove all darkness. If you would like, think of a situation with a particular person or group that you're having issues with, that you have some sense of hurt, resentment, divisiveness, separateness. And let this meditation be focused through those people out to the entire world. So together we bring Daled Mem Bet from just above our head. Allow it to enter through the top of your head. That it begins awakening more of the pure light that's in every cell, physically and spiritually, of your being. Awakening the frequency within those cells, human dignity. The clear, conscious awareness of the oneness of all people. And the desire to help bring every human being to the full manifestation of their God-given perfection and unity. The power of the Daled Mem Bet traveling through your body, through your being from head to toe, awakening this light of human dignity, oneness. The strengthening of the desire for peace, love, unity in the world. Feel that vibration. Listen for the solution, the guidance, the direction from the voice of your soul. As this energy, Daled Mem Bet, flows through you, circulates within you, heart, soul, mind, consciousness. Together with the Daled Mem Bet in our heart, open up the gate of greater love, kindness, and compassion, and let that light, Daled Mem Bet, flow out in a greater intensity than you've ever allowed it before. Directed through your family and friends, their heart and soul, awakening also the pure and perfect light of God in them. And through them, directed to the people that you have any divisiveness with, any blockage, any barrier. Let this light, Daled Mem, Bet, pierce through those barriers, transforming the reactive emotion in you into the love as the creator, unconditional, compassion, kindness, desire to bring these people to the awareness of the light in them, the true lasting fulfillment that already exists in them, waiting for it to be shined out through their actions, through their thoughts and words. Let that light be so bright in them that they feel this overwhelming desire to change, to transform. That will awaken greater light behaviors, shining more light out of them to the people they've had issues with. And let's see that light continuing through them. The power of the Dalid Mem Bet combination going out now to the heart and soul of every human being, every part of our one unified soul. See in your mind's eye every human being having this awakening to the realization there is only one enemy of all humanity. The opponent, that internal voice of ego selfishness that is not them, but is that programming that has allowed us free will and allows us to make greater effort to exert the sharing muscle of our soul that shines greater light into whatever darkness we may be experiencing. The Dalid Mem Bet awakening, that power of human dignity, the awareness, the clarity that we are one, that every challenge is our opportunity to remove the barriers, to remove the spiritual mud that's hiding the light of our soul and all the blessings that it contains. See those blockages, see those barriers. See that spacers between people falling apart. See the unity, the love and the care becoming more prevalent and the light getting brighter and brighter as all people taking the actions of self-responsibility to shine their light into the darkness they see, that they experience, through the mud, the blockages that are covering other people, beaming the light directly to their soul. That we can all see, feel, and experience the darkness disappearing, the light of unity and love an eternal peace, brighter and brighter. And we set our commitment to the goal of peace, harmony, the return to the Garden of Eden for every human being on earth. As it was in the beginning, so it shall be in our lifetime. Feel that warmth and that sense of peace vibrating in you now. Let it be engraved in your heart, your soul, and your mind. Let it be a commitment that you accept upon yourself to constantly shine more and more light out to all people. And together we'll take one more deep breath, sealing and manifesting this energy in us. And as you exhale, slowly opening your eyes. Thank you for joining us. May you and me, touching the heart and soul of all people, as we do our spiritual work, this meditation, scanning the Zohar, spreading the Zohar, accelerate the process that will remove all darkness and reveal all the light. Because we are strengthening day to day, moment to moment, our appreciation of all the blessings that we have and the awareness of all the blessings the Creator gave us that we have yet to reveal. And the ultimate blessing of seeing only the light, behaving only as the light, and removing anything that may appear to be other than the light from all the landscape of humanity. God bless. Thank you for joining us. If you liked what you saw, click the subscribe button so you'll be notified of future videos as we post them. Would also love to hear your comments and questions, whether it's about this video in particular or about the wisdom of Kabbalah as we teach it in the Kabbalah Center. If you'd like to learn more about various subjects, go to our website, www.kabbalah.com. We have thousands of articles and classes on various subjects within the wisdom of Kabbalah. Share this video with other people. If you were inspired and it can change your life, let's start changing thousands and thousands of people's lives around the world also. If you'd like to contribute in support of Spiritual Sunday and the projects of the Kabbalah Center, that link is also below. I wish you an amazing day, afternoon, evening, wherever you may be out there. And may God bless us all that we awaken the light of the Creator, not only inside us to a higher level, but touching the heart and soul of every human being on earth with the light of the Creator.